Today, our champion, Joe Tavernese of Lynn, faces the challenge of Gary Carrington of Plaistow, New Hampshire on Candlepin Bowling. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to Candlepin Bowling. I'm Don Gillis, and you all know by now that this program is on videotape. We do our taping here at Sammy White's Brighton Bowl, sometimes several weeks before you actually see the telecast. It's always 3 strings of Candlepin Bowling, total pinfall determining our winner. That winner is rewarded with a handsome marble-based trophy from the Ace Trophy Company of Boston. The runner-up receives a smaller but otherwise identical version to indicate he was a participant on our show. We have guaranteed prize money of $1,150. $700 goes to the winner, $300 to the runner-up. There's $50 available to the winner of each string. And obviously, should they tie, they would split that at $25 apiece. Lots of other opportunities to make money, and we'll tell you about that as the program goes along. But right now, let's meet today's bowler, shall we? Come on up here, guys. Gary, you come over here first, because I talked to Joe last week a little bit more. Gary Carrington, the first runner-up as Bowler of the Year in the WCBC, behind a guy named Tim Lipke this year, huh?
Yeah, Tim Lipke. Yeah, I know him very well. He's a very good bowler.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
very good.
He just keeps rolling along, and you're right there with him. Okay, yeah. Let's find out a little bit about yourself. Plaistow, New Hampshire. Everybody that sees it spelled wants to say Plaistow, right? But the folks up there...
Plaistow, that's
sure. Why not?
That's what I always say. Anyway.
Absolutely, right. And Joe came rolling along last week and came from behind and defeated our previous champion, Jack Ray. And at the same time, made the diamond twice, made a lot of good spares. You still feel hot?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel good, but Dave is a tough bowler.
It should be good because you're both great bowlers and with high averages.
Good friend of mine, too.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah? You going to root for him? Like heck. All right. We'll get started right after this.
Candlepin Bowling is sponsored in part by your neighborhood True Value hardware store.
Here is today's challenger, Gary Carrington, Plaistow, New Hampshire. Excellent candlepin bowler. You've seen him before. He right now has a league average of 129. And that, as we all know, is sizzling bowling. Just like that, he makes the 4 horsemen left side. Gary is married, father of 1, and is employed as a pipe fitter. He's representing the Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill and the Lafayette Lanes in Amesbury. He had a 664 in winning his roll-off. Oh, wanted one of those to go. Well, that's tough. At the moment, he's got 5 and 6 side by side. Little piece of wood next to the 6. Let's see if he can move it. No. 8 was the fill on the spare in the first. High single 194, high triple 458. It's a 9. Our defending champion now, Joe Tavernese. He picked up, in addition to the $700 for winning last week, an additional $400 in bonus money. And the ways that one can collect that on our show: 3 marks in a row. Any combination of strikes or spares in the same string, that's worth $50. Then each subsequent consecutive mark in that same string is worth $50 apiece, just as long as he can keep it going. See if he gets a spare to start one of those little streaks right now. He did. Spare in the first. If a bowler gets 3 strikes in a row, there's an additional bonus, in addition to the $50 I'm talking about, an additional bonus of $1,000. And each subsequent consecutive strike in that same string would be worth $1,000 apiece. Joe rolled a 395 last week. 5 more would have been a 400, and that would have been worth an extra bonus of $100. Nope. Joe has a league average of 125, a high single of 185, a high triple of 453. He had a 693 in winning his roll-off. $27 after 2. Oh, tough split, but he has some wood. He has 4 with wood to the right of it, the 10 with wood to the left of it. Nope. Didn't get to the 4. There was a piece of wood out in front of that. Is it going to fall? The 4 is staggering. It's the only pin standing. Another spare. Now Joe Tavernese, our defending champion. Boy, he's got across the back the 7, 9, and 10, and the only object pin is the 5. Wood over on the right. He used the wood to take out 9 and 10, but he still has 5 and 7. Nine. The bowler with the most marks will be called our marksman of the day and will receive a $50 gift certificate from True Value hardware stores and home centers. Now he has the 3 and the 5, wood in between, and across the back those same 3 pins, the 7, 9, and 10. He almost pulled it off, but has the same 2 pins remaining, the 5 and the 7. Eight. All right, here's our first pause, as we do in the first and second string. After 4 boxes, we take a look at the scoreboard, and there it is. Today's challenger, Gary Carrington of Plaistow, New Hampshire, 47 with a bonus ball to roll, and our defending champion, Joe Tavernese, 44. Here's today's challenger, Gary Carrington. He's working on a spare. Six is the fill. He has 4 pins over on the right, and they are the 3, 6, 9, and 10. Made it. 2 marks in a row. All right, trying for 3 marks in a row. He's in good position to do it right now. And he did it. 3 marks in a row, $50 in bonus money for Gary Carrington. And, of course, that's still alive. Joe Tavernese, our defending champion. 1 extra pin over on the right that he just as soon wasn't there, but it can go. Object pin becomes the 2. He's got 2, 4, 7, and the 6. And that's what I meant when I say he'd just as soon not have it there. Ten. 16-pin lead at the moment, after 5, for our challenger, Gary Carrington. All but the 7. That close to a strike. Too bad, he missed that 7. As you know, I do give a lot of description as to where the pins are, and you know the reason why, because several unsighted persons have mentioned to me, people that are legally blind, that they enjoy listening to the program, hearing the sounds of it, and can participate when I let them know where the pins are so they can visualize it. And I had that once again. He's on his way to 4 in a row, and I'm not going to say another word until I see what he does here, but 8 is the fill, and he has 2 pins, the 4 and the 7, to get with wood in front of them. He made it. So now that's $100 in bonus money for Gary Carrington. Never was it more forcefully brought to mind, that is, how much it is appreciated, and by persons who are unsighted, than a letter that I got from Vera Freeman of York Beach, Maine, and I do appreciate it. Vera is legally blind and has been for 4 years, has been bowling for about 30 and was secretary of the Chamber of Commerce at one time, but... And a strike! Wow, $150. The point I'm going to make is that Vera still bowls, even though she's legally blind. She said she goes to the lane, throws the first ball down the middle after getting herself in position, and then has sighted persons tell her where the pins are that are still standing, visualizes that in her mind, and then rolls the second ball. I think that's wonderful. Okay, let's watch now this one. We have 1 pin over on the right for a spare. It is a 10, and Joe Tavernese makes it. So you will know now. And the amazing thing, as I said, about this lady who is legally blind and still bowls, here is the punchline. Her average is 86. How many of you people can do that? So you will know that when I am describing where pins are, and maybe some of you think that I'm talking too much, you'll know that the reason for it. Okay, 2 pins left here. It's an 8 for Joe Tavernese. And the score right now, depending, of course, what Gary Carrington does, I can only tell you the completed frames through 7. He leads 108 to 77. And he's working on a strike. His bonus is still alive. If he gets these 3 pins, it'll be another $50 in bonus money. 3 pins he has on the left-hand side, and he didn't get it. So the bonus stops there. He has a fill of 8, and he's up to 126 through 8. A 10 box, 136. As I have reminded you, there is an extra bonus of $100 for a 400 series. And don't forget our True Value Championship, which will be held on the last Saturday in August. $20,000 in prize money. $10,000 first prize. And it will be the 5 bowlers with the highest 3-string total since the last championship show. August 23rd. I guess it's not the last Saturday. It's the next to last Saturday in August. August 23rd. An excellent 146 for Gary. And I would say that if I were in the position of the bowlers who are at the bottom of the line, particularly Jim Powers with his 401, I'd be a little concerned right now. Joe Tavernese has the 7 and 8 remaining. With wood. Yes! 7 and 8. With wood for a spare. And a strike on top of it. First bonus ball. First bonus ball gets him 7. He still has the 7, 9, and 10 with 2 pieces of wood. He got just the 9 for a fill of 8. So 2 fine strings. Joe Tavernese has a league average of a 125, and he rolled a 123. Gary Carrington has a league average of 129, and he rolled a 146. That's it. Carrington 146, Tavernese 123. All right, it's the middle string. That means our defending champion leads it off, and he's Joe Tavernese of Lynn. Punched out the middle and has left 7 pins, 3 on each side of the 2 wings of the spread eagle plus the 9. Took the left side out. And Joe gets all but 1. A 9, and now he moves to lane 38. 5 and 10 plus a piece of wood which is rolling to the right, and it hits the 10 and knocks it down. And he does not get the 5 pin. Gary Carrington, in case you just joined us, rolled a 146 opener. Boy, he does scatter them, doesn't he? But all the wood is gone, and all he has left is a 4-10 split. Nope, too far left. A 9. Now he has the reverse split. He has the 6 and 7. However, there are a couple of pieces of wood over next to the 7. But it's still tough. They're almost parallel pins to move that 6 over there to get the 7. The target becomes bigger with the pieces of wood that are up against the 7. Let's see what he can do with it. He has to move it. Yes, it went. It went. For a second there, it hesitated and didn't go. But that is one whale of a spare for Gary Carrington. Joe Tavernese has 3 pins, the 5, 8, 9. Nope, 8 is still there. For a 10? Yes. Had a note here from Hugh Bailey of West Newton, and says that he's watched the show for a long time, used to bowl. Said that not long ago I brought up the attention of the audience. The son of Paul Weber was wondering if anybody remembered his father bowling a string of 188 in Waltham. Well, Hugh remembers it very well because he was there at the time. And he writes a letter to tell us about it. And there's another interesting little aspect about it. Also mentions some of the bowlers that he knew when he moved to Lynn. Harry Gray and Lynch and Pollack and some others and so forth. It's a very interesting note. But anyway, he says, I hope you find it possible to let Paul's son know that I remember his father and his 188 string. Sincerely, Hugh Bailey, River Street, West Newton. Thanks. Gary Carrington has himself a 9-drop on his spare, and he's got a piece of wood stuck out of the gutter, but I think he can still get at the 7. Let's see. Yes. So he has 2 in a row now. Now moving to lane 38 with a bonus. He gets 7. He's got the 4, 5, and 7 remaining. No wood. Whoa! Wow! What a shot. He's got a big grin on his face because he came so close to making that. Oh, baby. He had a smile so bright, you'd almost think he had made it. But, I mean, the way he moved that pin, he's still grinning as he comes back. There was a big reaction when he made that. I'll tell you, if that thing had gone, it was just absolutely sensational. There it is at the end of 4 in the middle string. Our challenger, Gary Carrington of Plastow, New Hampshire, 55. Our defending champion, Joe Tavernese of Lynn, 39 with a bonus ball to roll. In the middle string, the defending champion is the leadoff man, so he leads off here in the 5th. Joe Tavernese of Lynn has a strike. Now over to lane 38. That's 2 marks in a row. First bonus ball. No. Almost a spread eagle. Goes to the right side. And he almost pulled it off. Got everything except the 2-pin. Nine. Now Gary Carrington coming up. I want to thank Dave Burrell of Newburyport, Massachusetts, for sending me a letter with some kind words and also the clipping from the Globe. I appreciate that, too. That was the article that was in the Globe magazine on Candlepin bowling. Half was to right, so there are 8 pins still standing for Gary Carrington, and there are still 5. Got another letter here from Lexington, Massachusetts, Count Arsenault, and he said, I wonder if some of your older fans remember when a rubber band was inserted in duck pins similar to the stripe on candle pins. Well, I remember. I guess that makes me an older fan. 9 drop and just the 7 there. The rubber kept the pins from flying and quieted the noise. Also kind of to save some of the pin boys who were in danger with the... Oh! Went to the left of that one and missed it. He said he believed that they were restricted to private clubs and not found in public alleys. Well, that's not so. At least it wasn't so where I grew up in New Bedford, because we had duck pins and we did have what we called rubber bellies. They had a band right around them, and they didn't make much noise, you're right. They just sort of went down with a, well, they didn't go down too often for me, but when they went down, they didn't make too much noise. Okay, Joe Tavernese has an 8 drop on the first ball, and he is faced with the 3 and 6 for a spare. And so he has to settle for a 10 as he got 1 with each ball. Joe has won a couple of tournaments in the last couple of years on the Pro Bowlers Tour. He's married, has 2 children. He manages the post office lanes in Lynn. And Joe gets an 8. Speaking of the World Candlepin Bowling Congress tour, the first of 1986 was won by Don Riley. Set a new record in Londonderry, New Hampshire for the lanes, and he, of course, is our statistician. Joanne Panto is our secretary. Bill Rubin is the big mahup, the producer-director of the show. Gary Carrington gets himself another spare. Al Giglio is keeping score on that big scoreboard today, and Bruce Goldman keeping score beside me. Here's Gary Carrington now going with the bonus ball, and he gets a tough split. He winds up with 7, 10, and a piece of wood perpendicular to the 7. Let's see what he can do with it. He's going to try to split the wood, and no, didn't get it. It's still the 7 and 10 there. There's the score, 96-95 here in this middle string, although Carrington led 146 to 123 after 1. Joe Tavernese. And Joe has the 7 topple, so he has a kind of a mixed-up bag here. He's got the 1 and the 9 and 10. There's a piece of wood to the left which probably will not come into play. Nope, it didn't. He punched out the 1, and the 9 and 10 are still there. And they're still there, so it's an 8 box. Clipped wing spread eagle. The 1 is gone, the 5, and across the back, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So he has 2 on each side. 2 and 4, 3 and 6. Right down the middle he went, touching nothing except a piece of wood that was in the back. Gets just one of those 4, so it's a 7 box, and a very disappointing 110 for Joe Tavernese. Now, Gary Carrington. The rest of completing our crew, of course, our lob line judge and referee is Ralph Stewart. And punch out in the middle for Gary Carrington also, except that the 7 went. But basically, it's a spread eagle with a 7 gone. Oh! He came within 1 pin of making that. The 4 is still there. Got the 3 on the right and the 2 pin. 9. Gary won $50 for winning the first string, 146 to 123. He leads by 2 pins here, and he's opposite a 7 box, so he should win the second one, too. That did it for him right there. He's at 113, so he wins another $50 in bonus money. Made it for a spare. All right, now at 115, and a bonus ball to throw. Thin hit. Just 4. 119. So that's good enough to win another $50 in bonus money, as I said. And it extends his lead by another 9 pins, since he was opposite a 110 by Joe Tavernese, who has a kind of a worried look on his face as he looks up at that scoreboard. And at the end of 2, it is Gary Carrington 265, Joe Tavernese 233. Now leading off the third string, today's challenger, Gary Carrington. And he punches out right down the middle, the 1-5. Before I forget it, speaking of 1 and 5, Channel 5, next week, our show will be on at 1 o'clock rather than 12 noon because of a special on Channel 5. For you folks in Springfield, you better check with your station or newspaper. I'm not sure whether they're going to carry the show at noontime or at 1 o'clock. But anyway, for those of you who watch it on Channel 5 in Boston, because of a special program, it'll be on at 1 rather than at 12 noon. Okay? Very good. Gary Carrington has missed on the spare attempt here and has 3 pins still standing across the back. Misses again, so it's a 7. So he has a 32-pin lead, but he didn't bowl exceptionally well there. In addition to being runner-up bowler of the year, you know, of course, I mentioned that Jack Ray, who was defeated by Joe Tavernese, was on the American Championship team that won the title in Nova Scotia in November. Well, Jack Ray, Peter Flynn, John Miller, Bob Kelly of Stoneham were 4 of them, and Gary Carrington was the other. So it's the men's team, and I guess since it's played in this part of the world and maybe nowhere else, it makes them the world team champions anyway. Candlepins. The tournament will be held this year. That is with Canada sending some teams, and also United States will be held at Charlie Milan's Bangor Brewer Lanes in Maine. That'll be next November. Joe Tavernese bowls with all these guys, too, and is an alternate on the team with these guys. Okay, here is Gary Carrington now. It would have been a strike, except 2 downed pins pinched the 5 and prevented it from falling. So he has the 5 to pick up for a spare at the single pin. And he does. Needs a 135 for a 400. A 137 would move him ahead of Jim Powers into our championship show. He gets an 8 drop, but look what he has left. He has the 4 and the 10. A piece of wood is rolling over toward the 10, and it's going to roll into the gutter. Did not touch it. Got the 4, but hit it a little too full to make it go all over there to get the 10. Now for the 10, he picks that up, and it is a 10 box. There's a look at the scoreboard. Now Joe Tavernese. Joe has, for a moment, had the 4 horsemen on the right side, but the 6-pin dropped. So now he has 1, 3, and 10 on the right. Made it. Eight drop, and he winds up with a tough shot. It's the 5 and the 7. No wood to help. Five is down, but the 7 is still there. He doesn't get it. 31 pin lead still for our challenger, Gary Carrington. Strike. And 7 drop. He'll be working on the 3, 5, 6. Nope, 3 and 5 went, but not 6. That is one of the spare leaves that most people think is easy, but it isn't. It just looks easy, but time and again you will see, whether it's the 2, 4, 5 or the 3, 5, 6, that 2 of the pins will go, or maybe just 1, but not all 3. So Joe saw everything crumble in the middle and leaves him just 2 pins, but they happen to be the 7 and 10. 2 pieces of wood, one perpendicular to the 10 and the other on a parallel plane, but a little bit over to above where the 5 is. He used one of them, but it didn't go anywhere really effectively. The 10 went down and the wood moved, but the 7 is still there. There it goes for a 10. That makes the score 64-56 in this 3rd string, and it was in favor of Gary Carrington. So he has picked up 8 more pins and leads now by 40 pins. Joe Tavernese has just missed a strike, as the 4 pin is the only one up. All the wood is gone. It's there all alone. And he misses it, left side. And missed it on the other side. So it is a 9. And now the lead is 41 pins for our challenger. Clipped wing spread eagle. The 1 and 5 is out of there, and everything across the back. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just the 2, 4 and the 3, 6. Hit just one of them, the 4 pin. Gary really just coasting right now. It's an 8. Again, 2 full on the head pin, and he had almost a spread eagle. He's got sort of half and half. He's got the 3 pins on the right and 2 on the left. He almost made this earlier. This time he went right down the middle and missed everything. The last time, if you recall, he took the 3 on the right and got the 4 pin. Just the 2 was remaining. It's a 7 box. $89. Joe Tavernese. And the defending champion has a spare leave on the left-hand side made up of the 2, 4, 7. Oh, he didn't get it as he got the 2 and the 4, but the 7 is still there. And it's still there as Joe misses it on the gutter side. $40 pins, that's the difference. And instead of getting a good spare leave or a strike, Joe winds up with a 5 and 7 and a little piece of wood tucked up against the 7. Misses everything. Now takes out the 7 for a 9 box. Picks up 2 pins, and so it's 38. That's the lead now. Gary Carrington has the 5 and the 8 remaining. Made the spare. That puts him at 99 with a bonus ball to roll and another box to go. Eight is the drop. That puts him at 107 through 9, and of course an additional 8 brings him to 115. But let's see what he does here with the 4 and 10. Using the wood, he got the 4, kicked it over to the right, but the 10 is still there. So the best that he can do will be 117. And that's what he gets. And Joe Tavernese congratulates Gary Carrington as he picks up another $50 for winning the 3rd string, unless we have, let's see, 93, 103. No, it's no matter what Joe does. So this match was all Gary Carrington, and for a while it appeared as if he would be going for a 400. I can't tell you who the challenger will be next week because we're taping in advance, and I really and truly don't have the result of a playoff that will decide who will be the challenger. Four horsemen on the left side, plus one more pin, the 10 over on the right, and wood in front of it. So let's see if he can make this. He doesn't have a spare, but he has 9 so far, and that gives him an even 100. And he misses that 1 pin, so it's an even 100. Congratulations from Joe Tavernese to his good friend Gary Carrington. He winds up with the 100, and that puts him at 333. We'll be going for a high-low jackpot of $125, and we'll be going for a home viewer of $100. There's the final score. Gary Carrington, our new champion, 382, and Joe Tavernese, today's runner-up and former champion, 333. When we started today's match with these two guys and their high averages, we thought maybe we'd have a higher total, but as you know, we always, for the Candlepin jackpot, depend upon what the total pinfall will be, both bowlers combined, and somehow or other I thought it would be close to 800 this time, but not so. It is 715. However, we give 10 either side, so if a person has guessed anywhere from 705 to 725, they will win the $100, which is in our home viewer jackpot. All we're asking for a person to do to take a guess at that is just to take a postcard, not a letter, and put down a number you think would be the combined total of both bowlers on a day that your card would be chosen to be used. We ask you just to send it, please, to Candlepin Bowling, WCVB TV, 5 TV Place, Needham, Massachusetts, zip code number 02192. And remember, and when we have a winner, we empty out the cards, we start all over again, and start a jackpot at $50. And another thing to remember is that even if you're nowhere near the number, if I pick your card, you will be rewarded with several prizes like these, which are on deck for today.
A Regina electric broom. No more vacuuming from now on. It's the Regina electric broom. The lightweight, easy way to make cleaning a breeze. The Regina electric broom makes a perfect gift. And fill your reel with premium quality Stren fishing line. Strong, easy handling, smooth casting. Great fishing starts with Stren. And an Acromill 16-inch toolbox. Offers premium capacity in a minimum size box. Constructed to carry up to 60 pounds of tools. Acromill toolbox to help out with all your home improvements.
All right, anywhere from $705 to $725 for $100 for one of our home viewers. Let's go somewhere near the top here. I'm usually digging way down. Let's see what we have here. And this one, Herbert Leonard of Brockton, Massachusetts, Hillburg Avenue. And his guess is a winner, 721. So we will dump this out, and we'll start all over again next week at $50 and with fewer cards in here. Now, for $125, Mr. Carrington, you pick a lane and fire away. Okay, Joe. Joe, stay here, and Gary, come on, face the camera if you would. You stay next to me because you're the guy who gets the smaller version of, which one is the smaller one? You know, here it is. Yep, okay.
Give me the other one.
And $300. I couldn't find any bonus money for you at all, huh?
It's a tough day today.
And these guys are going to give you a bad time now, huh?
Probably. No, we'll have a good time.
Okay. It was great to have you on.
It's good to be back, Don.
Okay, and I know that you can't root against this guy. Boy, you really were tearing him up today, huh? You got the bonus money for $300 plus $700 for winning, plus the True Value certificate for $50, plus the big trophy from the Ace Trophy Company, plus the game of Candlepin bowling for the first winner. You got everything. Now come back next week and give us some good bowling again, will you?
I will. It was tough today. You know, I got to put good first string in there, and that held me through the last two games. Joey had a tough
400
day.
next time, right?
400 sounds good.
Okay, we'll see you next week, same time. Bye-bye, everybody.